And you really got to understand that when you're looking at the economic fall taking place, it gets to a point they encroach little by little, and then it will accelerate. But the issue is capitulation. You understand? Why do you think, like nutters, they want to do this sugar tax and all this stuff, soda tax? Is it because they really care about the people's health? No, because it's part of a larger plan.
$5 for each bag of trash you put out. $5 a bag.
When you already paid them.
Not only that, I told the people down here before, an ambulance comes to your house and picks you up, you send them a bill. When I was a fireman, when I was 16 growing up, you pay your tax for that service. So why are they sending you a bill to your house when you already pay it in your tax as a service?
But you already know.
Yeah, so
but look at this. Now, and people will say things like that. Remember, they're always running to the moral and ethical argument, which is the naive training, which is why they can't solve anything, because they're not operating from ethics and morals. They're operating from an Inquisition policy. I'm going to go into that challenge of the jurisdiction. And keep this in mind. See, when you have this information, it's not that you don't look at those things morally and ethically, logically, because that's part of your natural response. And moral and ethical government is what the republic is. But you got to remember that the democracy is in operation. You can't ignore that. That's feudal. See, the republic is a loyal in character. The democracy is mob rule, is feudal. I mean, the government's been bought off. But don't get confused and start measuring them by the rules of the republic. You hold them to those rules of the republic, because that's what they took their oath on. But their allegiance is to the democracy. In other words, they're counterfeit. They have a totally different mission than what you think, and so you cannot afford to waste your energy burning on a moral argument that they're not ever operating on, although they'll talk to you on that level to keep you diverted. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now remember, this is military. But the King Alfred is nothing more than the Christian Black Codes and the Inquisition operations. And let's just read page 8 as an example. How long you gonna be, James? I'm gonna read this. All right. This is relative to the description of the silent weapon, and you're all familiar with this. But you've got to understand, this is their politics. So whenever you're looking at them manipulating prices, raising prices, gas, and stuff goes all wrong, and then it runs for about 6 months, 8 months, a year, and then they start acting like they notice it and they got to do something with it. Well, just like if they raise gas 1 penny for 1 day, it accounts for billions of notes. So if they raise it multiple pennies, that counts for multiple billions, and you know that represents in a poor community. That doesn't stop there, even if they change it tomorrow. They've already robbed them, and the residuals of that blow will already manifest as broken families within a year. So people don't know how to look at government. Their concepts on how they look at these things is totally immature, totally unsophisticated. And so this is why we've got to really get our people to understand national and international principles of economics, sovereign rights, etc., operative government, because they don't get it. They think these things, they'll look at, like somebody robbed you, say somebody robbed you of 10,000 notes today. They may be doing it to calculate on what you have coming in to make sure you lose your house before the year's out. And you're looking at the moment. Because the issue, see, because this is the real issue that's taking place. Not only is the transfer of the wealth for the Jesuits, the ultimate issue is that all the houses and properties are going back to the government. And they're going to do whatever is necessary to carry that out. So whereas people going through all their struggles, think they're saving their house, think they're meeting payments and everything, doesn't matter. That's, their concept is totally wrong. Because they're going to get it. They'll come at you another way. They'll have another raise the price. He's a Mason. He bought up just like the rest of them. You understand? Right now, look, people less jobs, right? And they raise property taxes. So what does that mean for the people?
Right.
No, they're going to steal their properties. That's what it's designed for. See, what the bank's going to steal, the city's going to steal for the banks.
So with that knowledge in mind, can you just give me maybe 5 or 6 things that we could do?
Number one, nationalize. That, you asked for 5 or 6, I gave you 1.
Okay, so can you expound on that?
Because nationality is the ultimate disclaimer of all the different levels. See, because they have what you call hidden, as Rob was saying on the way down here, revenue streams, tapped, untapped, and some waiting. All of which, and 90% of which are all fraudulent. All of which they should have never been given. Everything that they've been taking from you, they're actually supposed to be paying us. And all these generations that you've been paying property tax, a whole bunch of other tax, registration, tickets, everything, all that stuff.
So once you nationalize, is it a way that you can go and get that back?
You can start making demands. That's what like I was saying to you. You know, you start, like I was saying to that brother, in Detroit. I was just talking to somebody from Detroit having a problem with their house tax. I said, send them a bill and ask for everything they ever took from you. Getting no federal court arguing with them about the amount. Your whole concept about this thing must change.
So once you nationalize, it changes your status.
All right. I'm going to read this, what I told you, but I'm going to read status. Now, keep this in mind. I'm going to read identity, the appropriate persona, status, and this is redundant. And this is one of the reasons why I always go there, because people have problems economically, politically, and contracts that they deal with every day. What many of them don't understand is that all of them are based in principles. The principles don't change. And if you make sure they have the principles, they would answer their own questions. And when they can't answer their own questions, their concepts are wrong, because they're looking at these things as being unique. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now let's go to appropriate persona, identity and identification, then appropriate persona, right? Now keep this in mind. Keep it here. Yeah.
I was reading the nomen substantial.
Nomen substantive.
Yeah, I read that completely yesterday, and man, I was just like, it really answered a lot of my questions. But slowly but surely, I can see my mind shifting from the mindset you're explaining to the mindset we need to become.
Because that's why I try to keep the book simple, because our attention span is small, it's short. We've been trained. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
And that, and I try to stay to the meat of things, because I already know you can take that same information and do like this. It looks good, it can generate finance for you personally, but you're enslaving the people. Because truth need not be told in multiple words.
In the beginning, you know, it's great the way it's written, because it gives you the meat of it. Gets right to the chase.
And give you some examples, and it leaves you alone.
Yeah, and allows you to digest that.
Because you must, in other words, it's sort of like showing you how to swim, then throwing you in the water, but not in the deep water. It's dangerous to exploiters. It's dangerous to thieves. It's dangerous to sorcerers. It's dangerous to high priests who have set this world in darkness. It's dangerous to the Jesuits. So they wish I disappeared yesterday.